Hey beautiful people, welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I'll be walking us through on how to use Windows deployment services on a Windows server. All right, to all my returning subscribers, you're welcome. And if this is your first time of stumbling on my channel, well, come along, it promises to be an exhilarating journey. So guys, in today's tutorial, I'll be walking us through on how to deploy Windows to multiple devices. And as a system administrator, there will be instances where you'll be required to, get Windows installed on about 100 devices all at the same time using the network. That is what I'll be walking us through today. So guys, if you've not, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and also share this with your community so we can grow bigger and do much more exciting videos. Guys, let's go do this. Right, let's open our server manager, and the next thing we want to do is to add roles and features. Click on add roles and features. All right, on this page, click on next. Role-based or feature-based installation, just go ahead and hit next. This is our domain controller, right? Make sure you select it and select it right here and then hit next. All right, next we want to do is to scroll down and locate the Windows deployment services. Make sure it's checked, and then it will bring you to this page. You need to add features and also make sure that management tools are included. Make sure that box is checked. Click on add features. All right, just go ahead and hit next. Yeah, nothing to do here. Click on next. All right, this is the WS, and these are the things you need to note. If you have some time, just go over it to gain more understanding. I'll just go ahead and click next. All right, make sure these two boxes are checked for deployment server and also transport server. Then you go ahead and click next. This is the confirmation page. You have nothing to do here. Just go ahead and click on install. All right, it's going to take maybe a minute or thereabout, depending on the speed of your computer, to install this feature. All right, at this point, the installation has succeeded. You can click on close. All right, now that is completed and it is done. Let's go back to tools. Now we should be able to find our Windows deployment service. That is it right there. Click on it to open. Once it's opened, let's click on server. There's a drop down behind server. Let's go ahead and click on that. This is it right here. All right, it says Windows deployment services is not configured, and that's all right. Let's right click on it and configure server. All right, on this page, let's go ahead and click next. Are we selecting integrated with Active Directory or standalone? Let's make sure our integrated with Active Directory is selected and hit next. Remote paths. All right, where do we want this to be installed? Just leave the default path here. However, if you have a different location where you want this to be saved, you can browse to that location and select it. But for the sake of this tutorial, we'll go with the default remote install path we have here and click on next. Here you get the volume selected is also the Windows system volume. Yeah, yada yada. Just go ahead and click on next. All right, make sure these two boxes are checked. That is, do not listen on DHCP and DHCP version 6 ports, and also configure DHCP options for proxy hit DHCP. Just click on next. All right, now on this page, the PXE server initial settings, make sure you select respond to all clients computer, known and unknown. And the reason I'm selecting this is because this is just for test purposes. However, if you're using this for an actual production, then you must make sure that it only responds only to known client computers. But for the sake of this tutorial, let's go ahead with responding to both known and unknown clients. Hit next. All right, once this is complete, we can go ahead and click on finish. There you go. Now we have our Windows deployment services and also our domain controller, configured on this server. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is to add our boot image and also our installed images. So those are the next things we want to do. Now, how do we do this? We need a copy of Windows. It could be Windows 10, it could be Windows 11. Download it on your server. In my own case, I have it downloaded here. I'm going to show you. If you go to the documents folder, you will see a copy of Windows. I'll be using Windows 10. All right, you see a copy of Windows 10 that I downloaded from the Microsoft website. All right, now this particular Windows 10 contains the boot image and also the installed image, right, that we will be using. So what we want to do now is to mount this Windows ISO. All right, we've mounted the Windows ISO, and we need to open the sources folder. Double click on sources. All right, we've done that. Now, if you scroll down, you will see boot.wim. We need this file called boot.wim, and we also need another file called install.wim. However, Microsoft don't add the install.wim in their Windows ISO. All right, what they add is the install.esd. The next thing we need to do is to convert this file, this install.esd, we need to convert it to a .wim files, and we will be using either PowerShell or command prompts to do that. All right, I'm going to walk you through the steps in a moment. So I want us to copy this file out. Let's copy this file and move it to the C drive. Let's just paste it here. All right, great. Now that we have the ESD file here, all right, let's also copy the boot file. Let's also copy it there. It is in the E drive. Let's go to sources, boot. This is the boot.wim. Let's also copy it and paste it in the local C drive. Paste. Okay, so guys, we have boot file now in the local C drive. We can use this boot.wim file, however, we can't use this install.esd file. So we need to convert this install.esd file to a .wim file. We'll be using PowerShell to do that. Let's launch PowerShell. You can right click on the start menu. You can click on terminal admin. Right. I have the code, I have the command. I have it typed right here in my notepad. I will paste this command. I will paste in this command in the description. All right. So you can go to the description to make sure you also, make use of it. Guys, take note. This image part is the install.esd in our C drive. That is what I'm copying. All right. Minimize this and paste it here and click on enter. Okay, great. Now this is what it gives us. After pasting this command, it gives us different indexes with different edition of Windows 10. We have Windows Home, Home End, Single Language. We have Windows Education. We have Windows Education End. We have Windows 10 Pro. I would like us to use this Windows 10 Pro. All right, and that is the image index number 6. Now let's go back to our notepad. We have another command here we need to run. Guys, let me walk us through what is in this command. So basically it says export the Windows image. The source image path, this is where our current install.esd is located, right? It's in this quote. And this is the source index. What is the image index we want to use? What is the image index number? Since we want to use Windows 10 Pro, the image index number is 6. All right. So I'm just going to open my notepad and then change and then just enter 6 as the image index number 6. Fantastic. Now the destination image path, we can leave the destination image path same as where the source is, right, which is the C drive. Okay, yeah, this looks good. So I'm just going to copy this command and then paste it in PowerShell. I've copied the command. Let's go to PowerShell. So in PowerShell, we need to paste this command and hit enter. Okay, it says operation is running. It's going to take a while. Ideally maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, and that depends on the speed of your computer. All right, now it's completed. This log path is C, Windows log, and all of that. What we want to do now is to open our file explorer and then go to the C drive, right? If we go to the C drive, all right, there you go. Now we have the install.wim file in our C drive. So we'll be using this boot.wim and this install.wim that we just converted. We can minimize this. We can close PowerShell. Now let's come back to our Windows deployment services. We can start off with the boot images. Right click on it, click on add boot image. So this is where we'll be adding the boot.wim file. Click on browse. Let's go to our C drive, our local disk. Once we click on it, scroll down and select the boot.wim file. Click on open. There you go. Click on next. What image name do we want to give it? We can just call it Windows 10. Windows 10 boots file. All right, Windows 10 boots. Okay, click on next. There you go. Click on next. It's going to take a couple of seconds to complete. Now you can click on finish. Now let's go to the install images. Right click on it and add install image. You can give it any name you want. I'm going to call this Windows 10 Pro and click on next. File location, we need to browse to our C drive. All right, this is our local disk C. Click on the install.wim file, which is what you need. We can't use the install.esd file. I reiterate again, let me emphasize, we cannot use the install.esd file, which is the reason why we had to convert it to a .wim file. Click on open. We can go ahead and hit next. Go ahead and click on next. Just go ahead with the default option settings you have here. Guys, the image has been successfully added to the server. We can go ahead and click on finish. All right, there you go. All right, now it's showing up here. We have our boot image right here. We have our install image right here. Okay, I've created a Windows 10 virtual machine. All right, this is my Windows 10 virtual machine and I've configured it. Once we turn on this device, ideally it should boot from the network, right? And then locate the Windows that we just deployed few minutes ago. All right, I want to quickly show you this, guys. Let me minimize this. All right, if you look at our DHCP server, this is our DHCP server. If you look at the address lists, you notice that nothing is there, right? I'm going to click on the refresh button. All right, nothing shows up. Okay, now let's go to the Windows 10 virtual machine that I just created and let's power on this virtual machine. All right, there you go. Now it's loading up. On this page, see we have the Windows deployment service. Click on next. you'll be asked to enter your domain and your user account. We'll be using the administrator's account. So let's enter our domain. Our domain is Paul Uber Tech / administrator, which is the account we need to enter to grant consent to this. All right, go ahead and hit next. All right, 35 gigabytes. Click on next. Now you can go ahead and configure Windows as you normally would. Region, United States, click on yes. Keyboard, United States. Skip. Let's click on domain join instead. All right, let's give the computer a name. Give it any name you want. So I'm just going to call this IT PC. Click on next. Any password that works for you. Hit next. Confirm the password. Click next. Not now. So at this point, guys, you could basically choose whatever it is that works for you. So we're just going to click on accept. Now we have a fresh copy of Windows 10 installed and deployed to this client's machine. Let's do a quick check. Let's go to settings. All right, as you can see, this is our computer and this is the account that we used in logging in. All right, so let's quickly sign out. So what I want to do now, I want to show us how we can sign into the domain using any of the accounts we have on our Windows server. All right, guys, I want us to sign into this client using one of the accounts we have on our domain. So I'm going to click on other users. Let's go to our Windows server. Now let's open Active Directory, users and computer. All right, I want us to quickly set up an account. Let's create a new user account that we would use in signing. Let's call this account support. All right, let's type in support here. Click on next. Let's give it a password. We can turn this one off. Click on next and finish. Alright guys, so we just created a new account. This is it right here. So I want us to use this account to sign into our client's machine. So I'm going to click on other users, type in the username, which is support, and enter the password. There you go. Now it's signing into the account we just created called support. There you have it, guys. All right, we've signed in with the support account we just created. All right, let's quickly go to settings. Click on account. As you can see here, we have Paul Uber Tech /support. So that indicates that this computer is already joined to a domain. Now, if we fast track to the Windows Server 2025, finally, let's also check our DHCP server. In our DHCP server, I'm just going to expand this real quick. Let's go to IPv4. Let's look at the scope we created in our first video. I will attach a link you can click on to get to that video so you get a grasp of what we are doing. Now you discover that our computer has been added. Our computer has been added to the DHCP server with the IP address 192.168.1.61. All right, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. Alright, I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel because we've got loads of videos about Windows Server 2025 coming up. Kindly like this video and also share it with your various communities. Thank you, and until we see you again, have a fabulous rest of the day.